Don't take pictures of me.
If you all would take your seats, please, we're going to get started. Okay, deja vu all over again. I am here. I'm Kathy Cohn. I've done this before, but not with all of these things on me. So welcome, everyone. I'm very pleased to be here today. I'm a past chair of 1PS and a current vice chair. Peter is having a cool summer in Minneapolis, and he is watching us on our new YouTube account. We're so excited. We're trying to make sure that we have the best sound and the best video for you while you're at the meeting. So I want to get the little details of business out of the way, and then we can move on to the meat of the meeting. So I'm welcoming we'll be welcoming some visitors, and we're having several different presentations today, so it's going to be a really interesting and active meeting. So first of all, do I have a motion to approve the agenda as it was posted? I have a first and a second. All in favor?
Yes.
Oh, Robin. Okay. Okay. All in favor? Not. Go home. Okay. In that case, we'll move on. You may have noticed that your name tags are still back in the corner, but we have failed every time we have taken attendance here. So in this room, so we're going to start over again one more time. So Bob told me I need to pretend that I'm a second grade teacher or third grade teacher or something like that. So we're going to start. Our dean is going to give the clipboard. Vanna, can you swing that around for the missing? Yes.
This is the clipboard.
Yeah, and it has a pin, and you're just going to go like a snake and zigzag all the way until we get finished back in the back corner. You think you can do that? And it's only one person per neighborhood, I think. Is that right?
Everybody can sign.
Oh, everybody can sign. Denise changed her mind, or I changed your mind. Okay. All right, we're ready to go. Now I need to have you approve the minutes from the last meeting, which was the 9th of May, and I was not here. Do I have a second? Okay, Brian.
Second.
I have 2 seconds. Thank you. Okay. Are there any additions or corrections? Okay, hearing none, we will go here. Yes or no? Yeah, good. You may notice on the agenda also, I like to stand because I can't see them so short, so I hope you will let me wander around a little bit. We have a number of presenters today, but we have one that will be at a time certain, and that's 5 o'clock. And the reason we're doing that is because we have staff from Parks and Recreation, and they had some time constraints, and we wanted to be sure we could honor those. So we may be stopping at an odd place, but it's for a good cause. Some of you may have attended the meeting, the Planning Commission meeting, and seen the new renditions of the College of the Desert. I would imagine, where's Jeffrey?
Back here.
I'm here.
No, I think in your report, were you planning to speak to some of that, the College of the Desert plans?
I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you probably know more details than I do. I did attend, and it is very, I think it's great that we have something to look at. There were a number of people that were giving input and And some were not too pleased with some components, but the feedback was accepted very graciously. And now it'll be moving on, I think, to the city council to see the renditions. It's still a long projection of time, so be patient, but at least we have some things to look at and to think about. I think you're aware that the Blue Zone people had asked us to meet with them, and the board decided that it would be better that we not do that at this point in the review of whether this city is going to go forward with that.
Thank you.
So that's our position at this point. We're feeling pretty much that we really don't need the services that are being talked about, that we already have a lot of those things in place. As you may know, if you're a longtime member, in the summertime and into the fall, we recruit people to serve on the board of directors. Richard Bowman and I are going to be co-chairing the committee, and Sid Craig and Don Barrett are serving as members of the committee. We'll still be recruiting another person or two. Don Barrett is not on the board any longer and is not, so he is eligible to serve.
Is that the nominating committee?
Yes. Myself. Yeah, myself and, did you all hear?
What was the question?
The question was, who was on the committee? So it's myself and Richard Bowman, who couldn't be here this evening, but we are the co-chairs of the committee. And the two members that we have recruited thus far are Sid Craig and Don Barrett. The way that works is that when we have a slate of officers, they are shared in November at the general membership meeting, and then the elections are held in December. What we like to do is to have a really solid slate before that, so that we hope we can adopt a unanimous approval of the nominations that come from the committee. Let's see. Along with recruiting people to run for the board, can you all hear me on the back? Okay. We also have been trying to build our committees back up again. It's one of the ways that the committee members can become more familiar with the general workings of the organization. They meet other people, they have a lot of fun, they do a lot of hard work. And we don't just, there's a little thing finally. It's not just to be on a standing committee, but the way that Bob Farron has run the committees in the past and within the events is to have leaders for each of the events, and that way the work is not dumped all on one committee. So, but that means we have a lot of work to do, but we had a very successful year this year with the picnic and with raising funds through the home tours. So we're looking forward to having a tradition of that continuing. Let's see. Peter asked me to remind you to let us know about the times and dates that you are having your annual meetings, because we do want to make sure that a member of the board is able to attend each of the annual meetings, so that if you need any help or any support, that is time that you can actually speak with your NORD and the members of your NORD, and we want to be as helpful as we can. As you probably know, we do require you to have an annual meeting once, but you ought to be meeting at least 3 or 4 more times a year if you want to remain strong in your team. So please be sure to let Denise know. She can then begin to help round up us board members to come and join in and present a bit if you need that in their program. And I think we would like to tonight, right now, if this is your first meeting, will you raise your hand? Very good. And can you each just stand and say your name and your neighborhood? We'll start over here. Thank you.
Jack McLean, Los Compadres.
Thank you. Welcome. Okay, I saw several now.
Corey from Rancho Vista Estates.
Here. Great.
Maggie Schultz on El Dorado Palms Estate.
One more.
Eric Fauci, I live in the Rupert neighborhood, but right on here we see it.
Great. Any more? Thank you. We're so glad to have you here, and come up and say hello to us, and make sure you go out of the door with a piece of your name. Besides your going on your mind. Okay, so about a month ago, or no, I'm not sure how long ago it was, that a gentleman who is on the East Coast telephoned Denise and started asking her questions about 1PS. And that led to an opportunity for us to participate in a podcast to explain how 1PS works and represents our neighbors. Eric Shield was the person that Denise sent the gentleman from. Ron, I forgot his last name.
Ron Dell.
Nope, Mel, it's right. Yes, okay. So we've been planning what we wanted to do, and we first of all started out with just 2 people that were going to be in on the conversation, but in the end, Denise and Eric and myself and Megan Rodriguez over here, we were the 4 participants in the podcast, and it came live about a week ago, I guess, or a little less. And we have the ways for you to access it, and we'll be talking more about it next month. But it was a really good experience, and we're very pleased with how it turned out. Denise sort of covered how the organization was formed and how it operates and the support from the city and things like that. I talked about how we interact with the city and how we communicate and the issues that are important to our neighborhoods and to our organization. And then Eric wrapped up with basically giving an overview of a number of successful neighborhoods and how we have given back, which we're going to do tonight also, giving back to the community and to the city. So we hope you all watch that. There is a link to it, I think, at the top of your agenda. And we are really very proud of it. We're hoping to do some more things with it and obviously develop a plan for rolling it out and giving it exposure. So Eric was our guiding light. We appreciate the help that he gave us. I think it's contributed to the quality of our product. I think would you all want to go now? It's at 5:00. 5, okay. Well, Jarvis isn't here though, is he? Oh, that's okay, then we'll keep going. I have a lot of stuff. So what I will tell you is that we have some things coming in the next couple of months that we wanted to share with you in terms of what our programs are going to be. And one of them is next month is Red Cross and Blood Drive Month. And so we have invited, or actually they asked if they could come, because they are going to share some tips on saving lives if you're in an emergency situation. And also it will be at the same time as the blood donation campaign. So it would be very timely for us to have them. Where is that thing? Okay, so that's for next month. And then I think that Chris or even Peter maybe, I wasn't here last month, but months before or in some other settings, has been raising the issue of the number of residences and residents in the city are not a part of a NORG and therefore are underrepresented and underserved. And so we want to try to come up with a strategy that we can reach out to those people, and it's kind of not a simple thing to do. So that's why I'm going to try to have a session that we perhaps brainstorm and develop some ideas for how we can do this. These people are scattered, so it's not like just going to a place and drawing a circle and saying all the people in that circle are going to be attached to a neighborhood or form their own. So we want to try to really do a thoughtful job of figuring out how we can expand the number, or at least expand the representation and the services that are those folks are entitled to, and they're missing out on them. So I think, Jeffrey, would you like to come now, please?
What should I do?
Here. The microphone is right.
Okay. Oh, I'm on. Okay. I'm Jeffrey Bernstein. So some updates from the city. College of the Desert, which mentioned the schematic designs are out. The plans, you can see them. I think they're on the Desert Sun. I think probably Post has them. But they are set to go tomorrow, I think, to the design committee at College of the Desert. There's been a team working from Desert Hot Springs, Cathedral City, and Palm Springs on design input. Our representative was Flynn Fagg, who's been going through it from the beginning. We had a study session, I think last week, which these were presented at City Council for anybody to, at the City Council chambers for anybody to comment and see what they look like. Basically, it is 3 buildings that run along Farrell, an accelerator building, a culinary building, and then an event center, with the main entrance on Farrell and additional entrances on Bristow and Ramon. The area that goes back on, what's the matter? I mean, on Tockwitz. I'm sorry, Tockwitz. Yeah, well, you know, it's late. So on the area on Tockwitz, which is still the undeveloped part behind the event center, is where we originally were going to have the hotel. It's empty space now. So one of the comments, several of the comments that came up were, what could that be used for that would not be a dirt pit for a while? A couple other comments that came up from the city, from residents, were having a main entrance on Farrell, which for those of you who are on Farrell know it's a pretty busy road. Some of the residents from 5 across the street were concerned about the height. It's basically a 2-story building, but there is a 3rd story of equipment that will go on top with a gate around it. The design does look really, really good. Planning Commission, for the most part, almost all of them really love the design. It's very sort of modernist. It is designed to have a lot of meeting space inside. Most of the space behind that is parking, and including the parking for the cultural center. So, but hopefully this will move forward with the College of the Desert tomorrow. Then it goes to schematic designs and then out for bid next year. So good news is it's moving. Yeah, so that is, and as of now, Ron Oden is there, so we have another voice from from Palm Springs who can help push this forward. So that is very exciting. Some updates, I think we've had a few city council meetings since last time. We've had 3. So one thing is that there are 5 new art projects coming to the downtown area. On various blocks, including the popsicles, with the idea to be made sort of an art plaza around the museum. So you'll see several of those coming up pretty soon, all from the Public Arts Commission. We did finalize the strategic visioning for the city. I think I talked about it a little bit last time. There's 2 main tenets, the quality of life and community infrastructure. And within that is homelessness, crime reduction, affordable housing, economic development, improving city facilities, 5-year capital plan, and community design. A couple people raised the issue why environmental stewardship was not as one of the main 4 tenets that we had previously. We've now made that an overriding way in which we are doing our government. Good governance and environmental stewardship are overriding principles of how we operate, especially in how staff implements. We also just appointed about 32 people to our various boards and commissions. There are still openings. You have until Thursday at 5 p.m. to apply. Thursday, 5 p.m. So we have vacancies on HSPB, the Historic Site Preservation Board. Measure J, we have fewer applicants than vacancies. Parks and Rec, Planning, Public Arts, Sustainability. We really need people to be on Sustainability Commission. So if anybody cares about saving the planet, join. So till 5 p.m., do that. The decisions will be made by the end of the month for all of these. 3 of the commissions, HSPB, Planning, and Measure J, will be interviewed by the entire city council. The rest of them, the mayor and I do an ad hoc committee. Some other things, we awarded a $1.2 million contract for homeless encampment and site cleanup. This is for abandoned property. It is not to move the homeless. It is not to take away property from the homeless. It's for abandoned property, which is not really the job of our police to clean up. There was 2 historic site designations. The Tockwitz Resort Golf Course Clubhouse is Class 1 historic, and the Security First National Bank, which is now a Union Bank on Ramon and Indian. Ramon. So both of those passed. We also did a review of all the fees the city charges. The fees that the city charges for parks, for permits, is all based upon what the costs that they are to the city. The one thing, and there's a CPI increase. CPI is pretty high this year because of inflation. So we agreed also to not increase Parks and Rec for now. We had a joint meeting with Measure J. They are now at $22 million a year in revenue from Measure J, which is the 1% sales tax that the residents voted 11, 12 years ago. It is set to sunset in another 10, 12 years. It is mostly, other money is going towards our 5-year capital plan, which will help fund the library, the new the fire station are set aside, have been put in there. We've also have the new lighting going on and several parks projects. We did a couple changes, City Council did. We are increasing the community initiated projects, which I know started through 1PS, will be an annual $3 million. I think it'll ramp up to $2 million next year and then $3 million thereafter. Right now, we still have a backlog of projects, so we're not going out for more ideas at this point, but that should happen in a couple years. We also, we put money set aside to improve the downtown amphitheater in the downtown park so that we can compete with Cathedral City and Rancho Mirage. But we put $750,000 aside for that. We also, at the next meeting, should finalize our budget, which has to be done by the end of the month. So it is a balanced budget, thanks to our city manager and staff. It is a 2-year budget, which will be for the first time in a long time. We have one of the major things that also covers the airport, which I think I mentioned. They're adding about 50 new people to our airport. We have a big push for increased funding for our economic development staff, for parks maintenance, pickleball courts, a communications manager, which I think would help a lot of our residents in sort of understanding what's going on with some of the issues happening. We also approved both a design plan and a settlement agreement for the Dream Hotel, finally. So the great part for our city is the settlement agreement, which has a timeline. They're going to start grading, I think, in September. They're going to start construction next year. Before each stage, they have to have financing proof. So they can't, hopefully we don't have any buildings going up that don't get finished. But it is a 156-room hotel, 69 condos. They did, in a month, redesign the project so that the buildings right adjacent to Center Court on the north end are now 2 stories and not 4 stories. They have built a 5-story building that will be much farther west, but the residents will have a vastly improved sightline. So it actually was pretty amazing. They turned it around within 3 weeks. So hopefully we'll see that happening soon. We also approved an agreement with Martha's Village and Kitchen for the Access Center. Unfortunately, it only goes through September 30th. So we're looking for plans for after that. And we did a street vending ordinance restrictions. So just as a reminder, the state legalized street vending and decriminalized any violations of it. What we as a city can do is put in health and safety regulations, and that's what we did. And there was a battle between different groups, how far we could go, but I think we came up to a really good balance point. Riverside County does the health permits, so they have new rules in place, which will help a lot. Before anybody can get a street vending permit in Palm Springs, they have to have a health permit. And then once here, there's various different restrictions. They will not be allowed on Palm Canyon or Arenas between the hours of 4 and 11, Friday through Sunday, October through April, basically because of the congestion that's on the streets and how difficult that would be. They will be allowed in the parks, which I think actually will be a great thing for a lot of our parks have no food options. My only issue is just making sure they don't block recreation areas on fields, but they can go on the grass. So that we should see coming to a second reading hopefully soon, because that will put the ordinance in place. And without the ordinance, we're very limited in what we can do for citations and things. There was 2 things that we did not get to. One is the percentage of vacation rental TOT to be allocated to affordable housing or workforce housing. That is coming back next time. That was one of my suggestions to add to the agenda the first day I was in office, so that was good. But hopefully that'll create an ongoing fund for workforce housing. The other thing is a request for another $5 million for an early entry facility at the Navigation Center. And this will be a quicker way to open up, I think it's 50 beds in one of the existing buildings of the Navigation Center to start getting people there sooner before the full 80 residential units are built. But those are going to be delivered in September. It will just take some time to get the site ready for them. And that is what is coming up for, I know in July we have Picasso. which I think one PS has really supported and wants us to allow in the city. That's what you said, right? Picasso will come back, as will the restrictions on what food delivery services can charge to restaurants, and ensuring that the drivers get their tips, and also ensuring that they don't change the prices that restaurants charge. So those two things are in July. Is there anything else upcoming that I missed? Well, you can talk about it.
Jeff, I have a question on the cleanup. Is that going to include Lawrence Crossley and Ramon right across from east of Walmart? That vacant lot is just filled with trash.
I think it's citywide is where it will. I think the first area was the wash.
Did you hear the question?
Oh, I'm sorry. The question was, will the 1.2 million for the homeless encampment site cleanup include the area by Walmart on Crossley? The answer is the contract is a citywide contract for 3 years. So it will basically include wherever the city directs them. There will be a police officer with them at all times to make sure that nobody's rights or property is taken unduly. If property is taken, it can be stored, it will be. So yes, the answer is that we'll cover all the areas, and I think they'll start with the hot spots.
So you said 5 million for the 50, can you repeat that about
For-
the navigation?
So the request that will come before City Council on the next meeting is for an additional 5 million for an early entry option at the Navigation Center. And what that means is, so there's several buildings there. There was one building that was, they had various purposes for admin, for meals, for other services there. There was another building that was not going to be used. We now realized we can use that for some office space, take one of the other buildings that had office space and put beds in cubicles. Not the full living, residential living service quarters that will be in the mobile units. I mean, not the mobile units, the stacked units. So that will allow 50 beds much sooner than we can get the other 80 beds, or 80 rooms. And potentially, we could end up having all 130 going on at once. We'll have to see what happens in terms of funding, but that would mean that there's an early entry that people can get in relatively easily and then move into the residential units.
Now, this is not going to be like a 24-hour kind of thing.
It will not be a drop-in center, if that's what you're asking. It will not be a drop-in center or a food delivery, a food distribution center. It will be a easy, early entry navigation center.
Okay.
Yes.
This is the last question because we've reached our 5 o'clock time.
You can always email me, anybody, Jeffrey Bernstein.
The last, the 50 beds,
Yeah.
are they strictly for the city of Palm Springs, or are we talking about Brooklyn?
It's a county and the funding comes from the county and the state, so we can't restrict it to Palm Springs. We will have the referral to this can only come from certain areas, so you can't just walk in. It will come basically through the police and Martha's Village. So we will try and direct it towards Palm Springs residents. Our police chief has said that he will make sure other cities don't direct people here. Historically, what has happened with Indio and other places is that people don't want to come from other areas to go there because we've had options for people to go there. So it will be focused on Palm Springs, but legally we can't restrict it. Okay, that was the last question. I'm
Thank you
off.
so much. One of the things that we like to do is to make sure that our residents know what kinds of services are available for them from the city. And Parks and Recreation is certainly one of the key departments that a lot of us interact with. And so we asked them to come and share with us, as maybe some of you, if you're newer to the community, you may not be aware of all the things. It's not just pickleball. So we have from the department, Yvonne Weiss, who's the director, and next to her is Jarvis Crawford, and next to him is Rosa Roma, And the last person, a lot of you probably know, she helps us scramble our balloons and that sort of thing, is Jasmine Waits. So I'd like to invite you all up and share what you do for us. Yeah, we're gonna give you this microphone.
I won't stay back there.
That guy's face, she's moving out so you can see her and hear her.
It's a call.
We did it.
Here you go.
Fabulous. I'm
Clicker. I'm not exactly sure where I should stand, so I might move around. Perfect. Thank you guys for having us. We are really delighted that you invited us to come out and present tonight. Parks and Rec covers so many different things. So we really struggled a little bit with trying to figure out what to highlight for tonight. It's possible that we are not going to touch upon your most favorite item, and we are happy to come back and do a deep dive into any of those areas. But what we thought we would talk a little bit about tonight, or before we start talking about what we're going to talk about, here's the team that we have with us tonight who have already been introduced, and we're each going to take a little bit of time to talk about a specific topic area. So the agenda that we prepared was to quickly do a department overview, who we are, what's our mission, and then we thought we would talk a little bit about what facilities and what parks does the city offer. Then we're going to move into our special events programs, and Jasmine is going to do sort of a more deep dive into those programs that are offered year-round, as well as a couple that we want you to save the date on, because those are coming up shortly. For item 4, we wanted to talk about some of those programs that were really our adult programs and offerings that you may not already be participating in the event that you want to get involved in some of those areas. And then we're going to close tonight with talking about some of our youth programs. So if you have any children or know of any children that might be interested in some of those special youth programs, we will jump into those with Rosa Romo giving that presentation. So to get started, we are going to talk a little bit about the department's mission, as well as a little bit about the Parks and Rec Commission. And to do that, I am going to hand it over to my colleague, Jasmine Waits.
I might be one of the only people who could actually stand back here. So thank you for having us. We're very excited to be invited. We were doing a post-event review with Bob, and Bob said, you know, we really should talk about all the fun stuff that Parks and Rec does and ensure that our community is well aware of all the things that you can get involved in, if there are things that you're unaware of. So as Yvonne said, we're just going to do a brief overview, but if there is more information that you want us to review, we'd be happy to come back, or you can reach out to any of us, and we'll be happy to talk to you through some of our programs. Let's see here, what do we got? Oh, our mission. We definitely wanted to review what our mission is. This mission was developed by the Parks and Rec team. So the staff that's here before you, and then probably about 20 other staff members. We got together on a Saturday and really talked about the importance of the programs that we provide and tried to put it into a mission format. So our mission is: the City of Palm Springs Department of Parks and Recreation is composed of diverse and knowledgeable professionals who work daily to provide welcoming and safe spaces for our residents and visitors. We strive to provide a variety of inclusive and affordable recreation and leisure activities, programs, special events, and eco-friendly parks. Our mission is to unify our youth and our young at heart communities with open arms and hearts. We endeavor to create and maintain continued partnerships with our schools, local organizations, and community stakeholders. which is this group. This group has been a stakeholder for our Parks and Rec community in a variety of ways. I will just touch on it, and I know Rosa will as well, that this organization has supported our Parks and Rec by providing funds to help some of our community who are unable to attend programs and summer camps and winter camps. And we are internally grateful. And individual neighborhoods, thank you, Sunrise neighborhood as well, has provided funds for us, and we are very grateful for that. So I just want to make sure we get that in there. Let's see here. So we are a department that does have a commission that helps oversee some of the work that we do. We are an 11-member advisory commission who is currently looking for some additional members. So if some of what we're presenting before you today is of interest to you, please apply. We love to have as much community input on the work that we do as possible. And our meetings are every fourth Monday of the month. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about our facilities and parks. And I find it very interesting. My office works out of one of the facilities, and we probably have, I'd say maybe about 5 times a year, someone come in and say, how long has this building been here? And I'm pretty sure it was in the 50s. So it's been there for quite a while. So it's often interesting that people don't realize some of the facilities that we do offer our community. Can anybody guess how many recreation facilities we have?
3.
6.
More than 3.
6.
Shan knows.
6.
We have a nice recreation sticker for you. Yes, we have 6 facilities, recreation facilities that we oversee. We have 11 parks, 6 playgrounds, and 56 athletic courts and fields, and hopefully more to come in a few years or so. Can anybody name the 11 parks that we have? I'm not gonna lie, I missed one. When I saw it come up, there was one park that I completely forgot about. Is anybody trying?
Victoria?
There's Victoria. Mm-hmm.
Route 30.
Mm-hmm. The dog park, that's the one I forgot. Sunrise,
Sunrise?
the downtown park, yes, our newest park. Duluth, Desert Highland, no one said that one yet.
Wellness Park?
Wellness Park. And the only one I haven't heard yet is Francis Stevens. Yes, the ones with the fountains. So yes, we have 11 parks. Oh, I was gonna ask you about our recreation facilities, but those are them. What's that? 12, did we miss one? Oh, yeah, no, one's on there, that one's on there. Yeah, that one's on there. We don't consider that a park, a city park, because it's actually overseen by the convention center. So we don't have the ability to permit events in there, but it is a beautiful space for sure. Okay, so we have 6 recreation facilities. We have the James O'Jesse Desert Highland Center, which my colleague Jarvis over here, he's the manager at that facility and has been for many years. We have the Pavilion, which is near Sunrise Park, the Leisure Center, which is near Sunrise Park, the Swim Center, which is also near Sunrise Park and is a facility on an absolutely perfect week, is open 7 days a week. And we're working towards making that a thing. We have the skate park, which we also oversee and is also available at the Sunrise community. And then we have the Duluth Community Center as well.
There's a golf course also.
We do. The golf course is kind of one of those unusual ones because it's overseen by a contractor. But yes, it is a city facility, absolutely. So we did go through all the parks. And someone asked, oh, the Gateway Park. Yeah, see, it's listed on there. So this is where we have playgrounds, which is Barristo Park, Demuth, the Desert Highland Park, Ruth Hardy Park, Sunrise, and Victoria. So Victoria is currently, the playground is unavailable, but it should be available. Do we know when, or do we have an estimated? Okay, early 2024. I know we're still waiting for some playground equipment to come in. So currently it's unavailable, but when it is available, it is going to be amazing. So we have 23 tennis, bocce ball, and pickleball courts. There's 9 tennis courts, 8 are at Ruth Hardy, 1 is at Demuth Park. We have 2 bocce ball courts in case anybody wants to play bocce ball, and those are located at the Gateway Park. And then we have 12 pickleball courts, and those are located at Demuth Park. And as I stated before, there is a plan in place, and I think we're just trying to get some additional funding to actually create some more pickleball courts in the future. So in terms of community services, both our James O'Jesse Desert Highlands Center and the Demuth Community Center provide quite a bit of variety of services to the community. They are both cooling and warming centers. In addition, the James O'Jesse Desert Highlands Center has some food distribution that happens every other week. Is that correct? Every other week. And Borrego Health Services is also available at the James O'Jesse Desert Highlands Center. Ooh, so now we get to talk about my favorite topic. So I am the city's special event manager, and I have been overseeing special events in the city for almost 18 years. So I have a deep love and appreciation for special events, and I take a lot of pride in the work that my team does and provides the city. I do want to ask a question though. Can someone tell me their favorite special event in the city and their least favorite special event in the city?
We'll let you go.
The picnic.
The picnic. Is that your favorite or least favorite?
Favorite.
Maybe both.
Favorite is state pride.
Oh, yes, those are wonderful. Yes, absolutely. And what is your least favorite? None? Okay, all right, I'm doing my job. We should just end there. Just good.
Festival of Lights Parade.
Is your least favorite?
No, my favorite.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I was like, really, man, I worked really hard at that one. Is it?
The fish fry.
Ooh, the fish fry. Oh, that's probably fresh on your mind. So nobody has a least favorite event? I definitely thought someone from the SENA was gonna say Splash House.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that's gotta be real fresh in someone's mind right now. I did get your email. This weekend was a very wild weekend of where Splash House sound went. So the wind was not in our favor. But nonetheless, I'm glad to hear that there's no event that everyone absolutely despises. We do work really hard to try and provide events that are beneficial for our tourism community as well as our residential community. And working to find that balance it can be a challenge, but it is something that my team takes really good pride in. So I would like to introduce you to my team. I have what we call the special events planning team. And people often think that these magical events and programs just happen. But it's actually this group of people, which is called the City Special Events Planning Team. And we call ourselves SEPT. We meet almost on a weekly basis. We review all the special events that come before the city. Anything that happens in the city of Palm Springs tends to come before this group. It's comprised of a very diverse group of people, and it is there's a member of almost every department in the city: police, fire, planning, streets. Danny is our emergency manager, who actually does a fantastic job of creating very comprehensive emergency management plans for all of our really large scale special events, and you're much appreciated. Thank you. But it is a group that is responsible for really ensuring that events that take place in our public spaces are safe, and that if something should happen, we are prepared to respond appropriately. We have had to say no to events before because they don't fit within what we want in the city of Palm Springs, and it could have to do with noise and impact. So we do think quite closely about residents and how events impact them. Denise sits on the special events planning team. You can see, I think her head got cut off over there. And she speaks very honestly about things that could impact the residents and how it's going to impact the residents and what we can do. She's responsible for distribution of information to this group. So if there is an event that could possibly impact you in your neighborhood, Denise helps us distribute that information. Yeah, so that's I like to call them my magic makers because they make everything happen in the city. So we did just want to kind of go through some of our fun events that we had this year. The city celebrated its 85th anniversary. I did a presentation recently for the Parks and Rec, and I was kind of highlighting this, and I told them that Palm Springs will find any reason to have a party. We will celebrate anything. We plan to do tree, we want to celebrate it. We're a very party central space. So I highlighted this event because I thought it was a fun celebration, and I also was here for the 75th anniversary, so was it interesting. Some of our annual parades. This is the Palm Springs Pride Parade, which I'm sure a lot of you attend or participate in some format. It is Palm Springs Pride is one of the city's, our special events team's largest events that we help produce and manage and try and keep safe. So we do love this event. The Veterans Day Parade, which this organization also participates in and we appreciate. It is a live telecast that happens and fireworks that follow. The Festival Lights Parade, which would not happen without this group of people. So thank you for all of your continued participation. We have already secured our balloons for next year, so I'll get those to Denise so you guys can fight over those. That's always fun. Our Black History Parade and Town Fair, which takes place at downtown Palm Springs. And one that's missing is we also have the Homecoming Parade, but we do have that parade also annually. Our annual tree lighting. This must be the year we did COVID because the only person out there was Santa and Mrs. Claus. But it's always the Friday before the Festival Lights Parade. And also my office oversees Village Fest, which just celebrated its 31st birthday. Again, we love to have a party, so we celebrate its birthday every year. So it's been around for 31 years. Wait, it might be 32 years, but we missed a year because of COVID. So I think it's actually 32 years. But currently we're in our summer hours, so from 7 until 10, come out and enjoy. Some upcoming events that we have a Flick and Float, so you can come and watch movies while in the pool. It's a series that takes place once a month over our summer season. We have our annual series of events for July 4th. We're gonna have a concert in the park on July 1st, and that is gonna be at the downtown part. We have a dive-in movie, July 2nd at the Swimming Center. We have a movie in the park. You can watch A League of Their Own on Monday, July the 3rd. And then we have a series of really fun events that happen on July 4th, because again, we love a reason to have a party. So we have a pool party that happens. And then following that, we have a concert in the park, in Sunrise Park. And then the baseball game starts at 6, and then the fireworks start at 9:30. So if you'd like to come and join us, please do. All events over the weekend are free. I think that's it. That's all I got. Does anybody have any questions for me? Yes, Sam?
Awesome.
Do you ever go on, maybe I just didn't know, do you go on Eye on the Desert so the public sees all these dates?
No, because I hate this. I hate doing this stuff. No, I don't personally, but we tend to have someone, either Amy or someone at City Hall will help promote these events. Absolutely.
I'm just suggesting because a lot of people watch Eye on the Desert.
I will call Amy after this meeting and make sure she makes an appointment. But she normally reaches out to me and says, hey, these are the things that we have planned to help promote or market the events.
Thank you.
You should be the one to do it. Yeah. You have a really good.
Thank you, I appreciate it. My comfort zone and my special event team will tell you is I love being behind the scenes. Like I'm a behind the scenes type of girl. So, but I appreciate it. Thank you. Yes.
Since you mentioned
Splash House.
Mhm.
I had no idea that was.
I knew I shouldn't have brought that up. I don't know why I did.
That was city affiliated at all because I live 2 miles away and heard Saguaro House going all night Saturday.
Yeah.
And maybe other neighborhoods have the same problem. I had no idea where that noise was coming from.
Is that the event at Saguaro or was it at the airport?
So it's different. Splash House is at 3 different pools throughout the day, and then in the evening they go to the Air Museum.
So during the day, it was like from noon.
Yeah,
all
at the
day,
pool.
And then it went at night and you could hear in Arabic, like the Canadian
Yeah.
amphitheater, you could hear the other thing going on.
Yeah, well, we didn't have anything go to 4 in the morning. So if you heard something at 4 in the morning, that was a private party. Yeah, their events ended at 2 in the morning.
2 in the morning.
Yes.
I get in the back of the house.
Yeah, but not at Saguaro. The events at the pool end at 8:30.
Yeah.
Oh no, I got a complaint that someone said the DJ was out at Saguaro at 5:30 in the morning when they were out walking their dog, which, while I understand the complaint, it was not Splash House. I make sure that everything gets turned off at the time per their permit, so yes.
Is that an ancillary thing that all the people who come for those events kind of have their own party day going on in the surrounding residential areas? I mean, you hear from residential?
Yes,
Okay.
a lot. Yes.
Well, that's the wild card.
Yes, and it was a very odd weekend this weekend because it was so windy. It blew sound in the oddest places. I got a complaint from someone in North Palm Springs that could hear the event that was at the Air Museum. It was wild. I've done this event quite a few years and we've never had these kind of sporadic complaints. So yeah.
I think we need to let him finish the presentation.
Come on, I'm
Are you
going
the
now.
last one? I don't want to.
No, actually, I have my colleagues as well. So actually, I'm going to introduce Jarvis, who is going to go over the programs. Jarvis is the manager at the James O. Jesse Desert Highlands Center.
Thank you, Jasmine.
Thank you, Jasmine. Keep it clicker. Yeah. I can't walk and chew gum, so I'm gonna let it click as I read. Hello, everyone. Once again, my name is Jarvis Crawford. I'm the Community Center Manager at the James O. Jesse Desert Highland Community Center. And I've been working with the city all my life. You're like, yeah, how do you pull that off? Well, grew up here in the city and came back from school to work with the city. And they haven't gotten rid of me yet. So I'm gonna keep putting in more years. So I've been here 25 years working with the city of Palm Springs. So thank you guys for continuing to volunteer to make my job easier. And I can look in the crowd and see all of our great volunteers that we've had over the years at the James O. Jesse Center, as well as with the City of Palm Springs Parks and Recs Department. So they put me in charge of going over some programs. I'm going to start off with our pickleball. So as you can see here, we have pickleball lessons. So how many of us know how to play pickleball? All right. How many of us don't know how to play pickleball? All right. And how many of us don't care about pickleball? So it was pretty even with the don't know and don't want to know. But those of us that do play, that's great. But if you would like to learn, please check us out. Come to Demuth Park, and it's every Thursdays. And it's the instructor, Mary Barcelo. I've known her. She started off at the James O. Jesse Center in our indoor court playing, and now she's branched out and she's doing it all over the city. So come by Demuth and you'll be able to get some great pickleball lessons from Mary. And it is a nice little price, but believe me, when you're done working with Mary, you'll know how to play pickleball. All right, we're gonna talk about indoor pickleball. So we were talking about the wind and the sound and all that good stuff. So sometimes it gets a little windy on the this end of town. And so indoor pickleball is the thing for you. So that way you can come in and play some indoor pickleball. We have it both at the James O. Jesse Center as well as at Demuth Center. And so if you don't want to be out in the heat, you know what, right now it's not hot yet. So let's knock on some wood because we had good weather. But it will get warm. And when you want to come indoors and play in some air conditioned building, come on over to our two facilities, the James O. Jesse facility, as well as the Demuth facility. And those are Monday through Fridays at the James O. Jesse Center. The hours are modified during spring break, winter break, as well as summer. So usually it's 9 a.m. until 1 or 2 p.m. Now it starts at 2 p.m. due to the camps that we have at the community center, but it's 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. So please give us a call, and you can set up reservation time to where you have your own court, or you can get on one of those drop-in courts. Also, for those pickleballers, we have glow-in-the-dark indoor pickleball. And so I was like, well, how do we pull that one off? Come on inside and see. All right. So you don't have to come in with all your extra neon light and all that. We'll have that for you, unless you just want to bring it and then go ahead and bring it on in. And so that'll be for this Friday, June 16th, from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. I want to talk about our summer line dance class. So how many of us know how to dance? All right. So how many of us don't know how to dance? How many of us don't care if people see how we move, whether we're on beat or off beat, and just move? There we go, there we go. Well, if you want to get some rhythm in you and you want to make sure that you're dancing on beat, then you can take advantage of our adult line dance class, which happens at the James O. Jesse Desert Highland Unity Center. It's every Friday at 4:30 p.m. and it's for ages 18 plus, so you don't have to worry about the little ones trying to show you up on their dance moves that they do. And I'm not going to imitate any of those dance moves today. But all skill levels are welcome, whether you're a great dancer, if you're not a great dancer, you're intermediate, or you just want to learn a new dance routine. So this adult line dance class goes from country to soul. So you can get all that line dancing in between. So please take advantage of that. Next, we have the art of crafting. So once again, if you are not a craft type of person, if you're not an artsy person, but you do like doing it, I'm gonna tell you, I love doing the wine and sip paintings. People come to my house and say, oh, what is that? I was like, it's a palm tree, but apparently it didn't look like a palm tree. But hey, if you go to this class, it'll look like a palm tree. So take advantage of the art of crafting at the Duluth Community Center, and that's every Friday from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Once again, 18 and up, all skill levels are welcome. Unfortunately, you cannot bring your wine, so this is not a sip and paint. You can bring your water bottles, but that's it. That's it. We're watching you guys with those cups. All right, next. Knitting and sewing class. So this is a class that we've been doing for many years over at the James O. Jesse Center. And we actually have two different class times. If you like to do sewing, it's from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And then the knitting is from 12 noon until 1:30 p.m. Once again, all skill levels welcome. And guess what? How many of you don't have a sewing machine? We provide you one. So you bring the sewing machine with you. All right, so sewing is 10 to 11:30 a.m. And then we have a knitting class as well, which is 12 noon until 1:30 p.m. And so you don't need a sewing machine for knitting. I found that out a couple of years ago. What are we going to use for the knitting? It's not a machine. All right, and once again, 18 plus, come on in and take advantage. All right, next slide. Mature Adult Program. So our Mature Adult Program is a program that was started as a senior drop-in. And our mature adults stated we are not seniors. We are seasoned and we are mature. So hence the name, the Mature Adult Program. So the Mature Adult Program meets every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., ages 55 and better. And discussions are on health, local news, history. They do great field trips. They do some exercising, and we also work with Jewish Family Services, and they come in every other Wednesday and do the Let's Do Lunch program. And then also a lot of our mature adults, they're so mature that they're not familiar with working with phones, their cell phones and computers. A lot of our mature adults still have the flip phones, and so now they're getting the smartphones. And so we have a great volunteer that comes to help us out with that. And this gentleman is here today, so he's looking around. Yeah. So he helps us out with using your cell phone and knowing how to use your cell phone, as well as your computer or even tablet, because a lot of folks have tablets. And so folks are now able to text, email, and do those certain things with family across the country that they couldn't do before. And I think you need to work on one of those, like how to use the video messaging with them too. I'll throw that in there.
That's another thing. I'll put it on the list.
All right, next slide, please.
Jarvis, can you go back one?
Yes,
Is
go
that
back.
$100 for non-residents and $5 for residents?
So the city of Palm Springs loves our residents.
Yeah, I see that.
We love our residents. So our residents pay a fee that not everybody else can get. So unfortunately, with a lot of programs that we have, if you are not a resident, you do pay a little higher fee. So guess what? Move to Palm Springs. That was not a typo. All right, next is our water aerobics. And Palm Springs, at the Palm Springs Swim Center. It's every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that is from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And that is $5 a class. And I believe that is residents only for that fee, or that's for everybody can get it for $5. So take advantage of water aerobics. And our pool, right now, it's not as heated as it needs to be because it's warm, but during the winter season, it is heated. So you can come on in and be comfortable while you're in the pool. It's not jacuzzi warm, but it's warm enough for you to be in. And what I'll do now, I wanted to share one special event that's going on this weekend. It's okay. So we're, as you guys know, Juneteenth is a national holiday now here. And in Palm Springs, we were one of the first in our valley to accept that holiday. So big up to Palm Springs on that. And so this Friday and Saturday, we're doing some events. Friday, we're having a King and Queens pageant and a little Tiny Tots pageant for the youth. And then we're also doing a Juneteenth celebration on Saturday. So this Saturday at the James Jesse Center. And both of the events start at 5 p.m. It was a little warm the last couple of years. And so we said, you know what? Let's take advantage of doing it at night. And of course, you guys know on the north end of town, the sun falls behind that mountain a little earlier than everyone else's here in Palm Springs. So if you get a chance, please come out and take advantage of the Juneteenth activities and festivities this weekend. And with that being said, I will turn it over to my colleague, Rosa Romo. Thank you. I'm sorry, were there any questions? Yes, it's $100.
Yeah, it's about timing. Like every single event took place during the day before 5 o'clock. There's no evening programs for people that may have work or kids. There's nothing in the evenings for anything. Even the pool is closed at 3 o'clock now. Just putting that up there.
Gotcha. Our director's back there and she is on it. Yes. Thank you again.
Hi, guys. Thanks for coming. I just want to say thank you so much for all your support because of all the money that you've sponsored for summer camp. All the kids get to wear this school shirt all summer long. So if you want a tie-dye shirt, sponsor a camper. That sound good? That sounds good to me. I am the recreation supervisor at the Leisure Center, and I focus on youth programmings and all the youth kids activities. So of course, with youth being my favorite thing to do, we're going to talk about youth programs. So the first thing that we have is over at the Demuth Community Center, we have an art class for the little guys from ages 5 to 13, Monday and Friday. So a great place to get out that little energy, be a little crafty, get a little messy. We give them their materials and an apron to wipe off their hands so they don't bring that home with you. So again, over at the Demuth Community Center, we have the Art Factory class. And then we'll move on over to the James of Jesse Desert Highland Unity Center where Jarvis and his team is at. And they do well, we can talk about the ice cream social, that's fine. I like to be flexible. The ice cream social is going to be at the Demuth Community Center as well on July 7th at 3 p.m. So why not come have some ice cream with the community, cool off, have a sweet treat with us, say hi, sponsor another camper. Just kidding. Next slide. Where did it go? Now we are at the Come Ride With Us event at the Demuth Community Center. This is a great event. It's open for all ages and all levels, and everyone can come out and ride a bike, ride around the community, learn about some of the history of Palm Springs. And Mr. Brian takes the kids or whomever is on the ride, and they go around Palm Springs. They do these really cool events with them, like no hands riding or the slow-mo ride. It's pretty cool. Next slide. And also at the Demuth Community Center, we have the drill team and Desert Highland. I'm sorry. At the Desert Highland Unity Center, we have the drill team and drum squad. This is a great class. Learn about rhythm and movement and marching and dancing all together. Miss Ann and Mr. Brian put on this class. It's phenomenal. You'll see them and hear about them over at the parades. Usually that's where you hear them, right? They're there. They're amazing. They do a great job with all the little guys. They have a special camp this summer, and it's July 17th through July 27th from 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. And then we are super flexible today. We're going to talk about the after-school program also at the James O. Jesse Desert Highland Unity Center. This is a great after-school program. This program is free for the community, kids from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. And this is going to work on some of the reading and all the things that the little guys need, a little bit of extra help, maybe even the older kids, and kind of help guide them in all the things that, you know, you need for college as they become seniors and get ready for prepping and going off to college to become successful adults. You can get all that over there at the James O. Jesse Desert Highland Unity Center. And then also during fall, we have the Youth Encouragement Program, the YEP. This is a great program also, but it's geared more towards the 5th graders through high school, and they kind of learn about how programming in the community works in the sense of government, and we kind of encourage them in youth encouragement and learning about a lot of the government parts of what it is that we do here in the government side of recreation, and maybe moving them on to become city council members maybe one day. And then over at the Leisure Center during fall time, we also have the Pee Wee Rec program, and that's for the little guys. So we have a program, it's a preschool recreation program for 3 and 4-year-olds, and they learn all kinds of fun stuff about socialization and playing, and they get super messy, which is super fun too. And you learn through sensory and play with your friends, and all of them are learning and playing, and through all of that, by the time they're ready to go off to kindergarten, they're learning to read. It's an incredible process watching all these little guys go. Their class is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 9:30 to 12:30. And that one's over at the Sunrise Leisure Center, sorry. And then also at the Leisure Center during the fall season, we also have FKO, for kids only. That's also another after-school program for the little guys. That's also at the Leisure Center, and we pick up from some of our schools, from Cielo Vista, which is in Palm Springs, Catherine Finchie, and Raymond Cree Middle School. That's Monday through Friday. We provide also after-school help in, you know, reading and math and whatever skills they might be lacking in. We have enough staff to support them and guide them. And then on Fridays, we do all kinds of fun stuff. And Wednesdays, we get out of school early, we do fun activities, we get messy, we learn to cook. Some of these kids don't have those opportunities. So when you're part of a recreation program, you get these opportunities that they don't get at school. So we kind of think outside the bubble. This is a great opportunity for those little guys. And then my favorite thing to talk about is summer camp, you guys. Come on, who doesn't love summer camp? Look, that's like a super messy sign. That's literally my life. So during summer camp, as you guys know, because a lot of you guys get to come and visit on the first day of camp, we have camps at 2 locations. We have the one at the James O. Jesse Desert Highland Unity Center. This is a great camp. It's Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's going to be all summer. It just started yesterday as their first day of camp. I know, I know that I spoke with Miss Ann, who runs the camp over there. She said it was a great turnout. They had a lot of little people, and they had such a great time. So that's gonna go, that must be like spot. They're gonna go all the way up until the first week of August, and then they go to school. So they come and spend their entire summer with us, and then they go off to school, suntanned and crafted, right? Because we get to go swimming and do all the fun activities. They'll go on a couple of field trips. That's a weird spot too.
It's the battery.
Maybe it's me. And then they'll go on field trips and do all kinds of great activities. And then we have the Camp Palm Springs over at the Leisure Center, and that's Monday through Friday as well. And that's going to start Tuesday, and it's going to go all the way until August the 4th. And there they get to swim and craft and sing and play and glitter everything. And it's going to be such a great time. I'm actually training my staff starting tomorrow, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And then for the little guys, this camp is great. So this camp focuses on the 3, 4, 5, almost 6-year-olds ready to go off to kindergarten. And then they play and they sing and they dance in their days just as long as the big kids, from 9 to 3 as well. And they sing and dance and do all the fun stuff also. And they get to go swimming, and we teach kids how to swim. That's incredible. It's such a great, important opportunity for little people, right? Swimming is important for everyone. Okay, I think that's everything on my slide. Just kidding, there's one more camp. There's a skate camp over at the Leisure Center or Sunrise Park area as well. So the kids have an opportunity to learn to skateboard. I mean, how many of you remember skateboarding when you were little? I do. I have like skinned knees from it. And over there, they're willing to teach anyone. It literally says, if you can walk, you can ride, and we can teach you. I think that's incredible. So that's going to go on all summer as well. All right. And that's it, guys. Thank you again for your support, making sure kids get everything to go this summer. Thank you.
We don't have a king size check. Sometimes we have those big ones.
Oh,
But
dang.
we wanted to thank you for all you do for our young people and our older people.
All the camps.
But this particular contributions from 1PS is we've started a fund, a youth fund, and so this one is to help you support some of those young people who don't have enough funds in their families.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
All of us. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I'm out of order again. But we do have, would somebody like to stand up and stretch your legs? We're gonna go into one more presentation. It's not, just zip in. We had an opportunity to have a presentation on something that is very time sensitive. And Denise, would you like to introduce how you found out about this? And you know this, right? I don't know. Yeah.
You can hear me, right? Can you hear me? Okay. Yes, you can. Okay. This is Erica Felty. She's the Assistant Executive Director for CVAG, Coachella Valley Association of Governments. Erica and I worked together at the Desert Sun, as did Sochi Pena back there, so representing right here. Actually, Erica was my boss. She was my editor for a while, and she told me that I go rogue too often, so yeah, she had to keep me aligned. Anyway, this project, they're applying for a grant to help us get some relief over Indian Canyon with all the flooding and the blow sand and everything. So yes. Yay. So she's going to tell you a little bit about the grant and what it's going to do. And without further ado, Erica Felty.
Thank you, Denise. Hi, everybody. Since you didn't get a stretch break, I was going to do a raise of hands, but we'll do this. If flooding or blow sand has interrupted your way home or somewhere that you need to get to on Indian or Gene Autry, stand up. Stand up. Yes. Okay, you can sit down. That was really your welcome for the stretch break. We hear you. I work for a regional agency called the Coachella Valley Association of Governments. And I live in Demuth Park, and my son's best friend is in Mountain Gate. So this is an issue near and dear to my heart. A few years ago, we decided to reassess the long-planned bridges on Indian. For those of you who are not familiar with Indian, it goes right across the sand transport area and through the wash. And that's particularly problematic. And when Denise and I were at the Desert Sun with Sochi, we would write frequently about the plan for Indian and all these other roadways that do these low water crossings. And you all recall the Valentine's Day flood and sandstorms that killed our roadways here and made it nearly impossible to get anywhere. And so after that, we did a flooding and blow sand study, and we said, forget the bridge that is going to cost $250 million. How do we solve Indian? Because unless Scott came with a $250 million check, we can't find this money. So what are we going to do? And our experts looked at the wash and said, you don't need to build a bridge all the way across the wash. You need to build a bridge where it actually needs to be closed. And there were a couple of bridges in the case of Indian. And we also looked at what would it take to provide emergency access. So we've gone to the state. We said, we need money. We've banged on doors. Your council members have been very adamant on this, particularly Councilmember Middleton. And we found a potential solution. There's a new pot of funding called the Local Transportation Climate Adaptation Program, or LTCAP, as we call it. And they're pumping out $300 million thereabouts in the next few months. The state wants this money spent fast. You can ask for up to $50 million. And we are going to ask for $50 million. Thank you, thank you. The grant has all sorts of requirements, including having a certain set aside for tribal areas, which bodes well for this area. And CVAG recently said, we want the money. We'll put in the match with our partners. And so we're going to take this plan to do these smaller bridges. And we're going to take your complaints on Facebook and hopefully the feedback you give us here tonight. And we're going to take Indian Canyon and we're going to put in a proposal next month to the state to make it look like this. This is not going to solve every single closure, but this is going to solve the vast majority of them for sure. And we're also going to be looking at doing some active transportation and some solar along the way in order to really make this project stand out from other projects. You might ask, how are we going to get around those endangered species? Coachella Valley Association of Governments happens to staff the Coachella Valley Conservation Commission. So we're working in partnership with them to get through the environmental partners. So little overview of what we're going to do. Very quickly in the next 2 months, we reviewed our guidelines. We are in what we call the community engagement session. We're putting together a grant proposal. The deadline is obnoxiously close. And hopefully in November, I'll be back here with some good news for you. You, though, can help us. If you would like to see us work towards this, go visit my friend in the back or take a QR code in order to prove to the state that we did not just make this up, that this is a real community concern. We have to hear from you. We have a survey. It's pretty simple. We'll be taking other feedback. Please help us make this grant application sing and really show the state that we mean business. This is a serious concern and we need to solve it. Thank you. Yes, great question. The question for those in the back was, are we working with Desert Hot Springs? We are. Desert Hot Springs is our incoming chair, actually, and Mayor Mattis, who'll be the chair of CVAG come July 1st. This is actually his top priority. And you might ask why a mayor of Desert Hot Springs has a project in Palm Springs as his top priority. It's because those residents are stuck. I mean, when you talk about the Valentine's Day flood, the numbers were staggering for how long it took for emergency vehicles to get to the emergency room. And our entire organization, all of the cities, all the way out to Blythe, all voted in support of putting matching dollars on this project. Oh, yeah, more questions. I'm sorry, I should have asked.
How do you get a hold of the survey?
The survey, there's QR codes in the back.
Okay.
There's flyers. You can take one, or you can hang out with Stevie. She has an iPad. Yes. That's a great question. Gene Autry, we're currently in conversations. So the pot of total statewide funding is about 300 million, or 500, 600. It's not much in terms of big dollars. We're putting most of our resources on Indian because of the connection to the hospital and others, but we haven't forgotten about Gene Autry. And we are working with the tribe in particular in the city. Scott was actually just in our office a couple weeks ago talking about this project. If we can pull together 2 applications, we'll apply for both. And if not, we'll go after another pot of funding in the next round. Yes.
I'm just curious, how much did you say that all of this is gonna cost?
Well, we're gonna ask for 50 million and we'll probably put in about 20%. So call it about a $60 million project. It's a lot of money, but Jefferson cost us like $75, $80 million for one interchange along the 10. And the original plans for this were over $250 million and that was about 6 years ago. So if we can get away with the state paying 50 and us putting in 10 million, that's the best investment we'll make in a long time.
That's not Megan.
Anything else? No. Okay, I'll take another one. Thanks.
Thank you.
Great.
Okay, so make sure you go to the back corner before you leave, but Scott, we're gonna let you finally speak. So
especially since your name was just raised. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. You know, this always happens to me. I get to follow the presentations about parties, programs, fun, kids, swimming, and then, you get city manager stuff. Just real quick, a couple little quick follow-ups. I do want to mention to you for staff, we are in the middle of wrapping up budget work for the city council. Mayor Pro Tem talked about the budget. It will be going to, the two-year budget will be going to council on the 29th for their approval. I did want to mention just a couple things that he forgot to mention that's in the budget. Besides everything else he talked about, we are, in our budget, we have we're adding 3 more firefighter positions to the city. We're adding 4 new police dispatch positions. So a lot of public safety is always very important to everybody. Some more positions in parks and recreation and facility management. $750,000 into continued improvements at the swim center. More to come after that. $850,000 for another round of playground equipment in a couple of our playgrounds. We're adding some more money for street repaving, $6 million this past year, $9 million the coming year. We talked about the blow sand issue. We have $500,000 in our budget to purchase a new apparatus vehicle that will push sand off the roads in all of those locations to open those roads up quicker while we're waiting for this new grant to be awarded to us. And then we've been talking a lot about some financing strategies. We're trying to move along a couple big projects much faster. You've heard me say before, we need to build a new District 1 fire station in the downtown area. So we're working on some finance strategies for that, as well as major improvements to our public library. We have $13.5 million for phase 1 of library renovations. And then we know that there's going to be some phase 2 renovations that we want to do. So we're working on some financing strategies for that. So just wanted to add a couple more things about the budget. I did want to mention real quickly to everyone, we talked a little bit about homeless stuff. Tomorrow, our police department is leading an effort. They're going to start at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning down in the Gene Autry wash areas. We're going to have our police officers, all the social service providers. They're going to assemble every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. and they're going to walk the wash with our service providers and offer services to people. Try to get them to accept some assistance, and we always try to do that. Somebody asked a question about our cleanup money. That money can go anywhere in the city that it's needed, and so our police department will be working on that. Certainly, anybody at 1PS that might have some suggestions for us for any of those areas, will be paying close attention to that. Thought I would just mention a couple other things very quickly. I know you have a long agenda. Our hotels are continuing to do quite well. We are the beneficiaries of all this great weather we're getting right now because, as a lot of you know, if you're talking to friends in LA County, Orange County, San Diego County, it's been kind of a cold, overcast, May gray, June gloom on steroids mess for all of them for a while. And what happens? They all want to come out here and stay in our hotels. So that's been great for us. It means good revenue for the city that we in turn can use to pay our police officers and firefighters and parks and recreation people. So that's all good, and that's performing well.
Maybe we need more vacation rentals.
More, and you know what's really interesting is how all of our hoteliers and our vacation rental groups work together. You don't see that in every other city. Sometimes they're at odds against each other. And I think it's just tremendous how they work together. The last thing I'll just mention is that we are filling a lot of positions. The Mayor Pro Tem talked about a bunch of positions at the airport. We're hiring more jobs and we're trying to fill a lot of positions all throughout the organization. So if you know people that might be interested in coming to work for the city, have them check out our website in our HR department. And I think they'll start seeing a lot of positions. And we're always looking for talented folks that want to come and work for us. We have, I will say that we've just wrapped up most of our labor negotiations with all of our labor groups. We've got a terrific group of employees that are really good partners with us, reasonable in negotiations. You see some cities and other organizations where there's a lot of contentiousness with labor negotiations. We haven't had that. So I'm really, really proud of our employees and our labor groups for working together with us. So just wanted to mention that. Yes.
At one point, a bunch of us have been meeting with the swim center for the lack of lifeguards. And one of the biggest delays is the 3 months it takes to onboard a new staff employee for the city.
Yeah.
Is there anything that can be done to expedite hiring new people? 3 months is, we have people and then they leave. They're just not going to wait 3 months to start a job.
We're doing a couple things. One is with all of our jobs, there's ranges like between $17 and $23 an hour for lifeguards. And so we're going to start entry level hiring people at a higher level that's a little more competitive. We just added 3 more people to the organization to help out with lifeguard situations. We're also encouraging our existing employees that might want to get their certification to fill out, to come and help out in an emergency. That's helped. So we're adding some more lifeguard positions. So it's been important to us. So yeah. Or yes.
So I'm from the June13 neighborhood, and we got a letter from, Imperial Power, and they want to build a hydrogen fueling plaza down near the on-ramp to June13 and the 10, and they were asking us to write a letter in support of it. And they said they wanted to set up a community advisory board. It was supposed to be a fast charging option, and they were going to produce hydrogen and electricity. Do you know anything about this?
I do know a little bit about it. Corinne, you must have been the person that sent me an email and said, can you talk? So I pulled out a letter. We have Imperial Power has applied for an incentive grant to build a hydrogen refueling center out north of the 10 as part of the overall efforts by the state to create a net zero emission vehicles center. So they've applied for that. We've expressed support for them if they're able to get some funding to do that. They have some discretionary planning entitlements, but they don't even know if they're going to get the grant yet. And then after that, then there'll be more discussions to come with it. So we're in the process of trying to become a more sustainable area, more sustainable community. We think it's a good thing, but we'll wait and see if they have a chance to get any of this grant funding.
So we shouldn't write a letter and say, we shouldn't do anything until they get the grant.
Yeah, well, they might be asking you for your support only because they think it will, help their grant application. So I would say that's not a bad thing. The city, we've written our own letter in support of their grant application. So I think it's safe to support that if you want to.
They've already received one of the grants, a $3 million one.
Yeah.
Steve Tossey, he talked to me about that. He's one of the principals in there. This week they applied for another grant, so they've got a few more grants coming, but they've already secured $3 million.
Oh, that's terrific. So I don't know if everybody heard that. There was a comment made that the company, they've already received one $3 million grant award, and they've got some others in the works. So it could be a good thing for our region if they can kind of keep working on that. Yeah.
I want to do some PR with regard to the word hydrogen. It's a really scary word to just get thrown at you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a big movement against that because of uninformed ideas about what this means. But people like community president, communities are getting complete support because they don't know what that means. They only know hydrogen bomb.
Yeah, right.
So they don't want to explosive facility that needs to be educated.
Yeah, terrific point. I mean, what they tell us is they're trying to develop a green hydrogen and DC fast charging energy plaza on 75 acres of I-10. So a terrific point. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you very much. I think Peter's gonna, talking on two microphones at once. I think that Peter's going to fire me because I'm behind schedule, so. Next up are some of the departments in the city, and the first one is the fire department. And Chief Alvarado, I understand you're from Long Beach, and so I'm a migrant from Long Beach. I'm glad to see you. Come on up.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, how's everyone doing? Good.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. First, if anyone missed the fish fry, the first Saturday in June, what a special event. I tell you, that was my first one. And what a warm welcome from the community. We had such great outpouring from our own firefighters. Terrific event. That was so special for me to attend that. So thank you for everyone that was there. And if you didn't make it, make sure we'll be doing it again on the first Saturday in June. And there's just so many things going on that are great in the community. Our city manager talked about us adding those 3 firefighters. So that's going to make 4 of our fire engines in the city will now have 4-person staffing. And that makes it so much safer for our residents. Firefighting is a very intensive, when we do have a burning building or we're saving a life, very intensive for all hands to be on board and working together. So to have those 4 firefighters, we're making the right decision here in the city of Palm Springs. So I want to thank you for that support. That is outstanding. Then we talked about hydrogen here. You know what? And I hear the gentleman there. One of the projects when I worked in the Port of Long Beach was bringing in a hydrogen processing plant, because as they brought the Toyotas off the ships, they would need to fuel up the hydrogen fuel there. And then, then once the customer had it, there were several locations within the area. So there is a lot of education needs to go along with it. There's a lot of planning that's involved. The fire department certainly will be involved in that. But I tell you, that is just the future of sustainability and just having alternative fuel projects within our area. If you want to buy one of those Toyota vehicles or the other manufacturers, sometimes like, well, where am I going to fuel up? I would love to have one. So I think these are just some programs that we're going to have here in the area, which we're going to see sooner or later. But again, thank you so much. And if you have any questions for the fire department, please don't hesitate to reach out. My office is over at Fire Station 2 by the airport, and more than happy to have you come by. We can talk any other questions that you have. And I'm happy to answer anything now if there's anything that comes up. All right. Oh, I've got one over here.
Okay. A few weeks back at our annual meeting, we discussed on Racket Club Road, Crescendo and Boulders, both areas are open and there's a lot of dry brush on it. And we were curious to know if the fire department or the city or whoever would go in there and trim it down, because we've had, in the last few years that I've been there, we've had 2 fires where we had to evacuate the area up in Little Tuscany because of wildfires. And they were in these open lots. And of course, once they get going and the wind is there, which the wind goes and the fire goes, and we have a lot of dry brush, and we're wondering if the city or fire department or somebody might go in there and cut some of this down.
Denise, I'm so happy you're here. I took a special trip out there with our fire marshal to go actually get my eyes on it, to look at that Boulder area and that Crescendo area. And what I want to do is I reached out, I want to talk with someone from that community, that Little Tuscany, and I want to go there with my fire marshal and actually take a look to see what you're looking at, to make sure we're looking at the same thing so we're addressing it properly. So if you wouldn't mind, maybe we could sidebar after the meeting today, and I can get your contact information and we can set that up. But that's certainly one of the things that's on our top priority, ensuring those high fire areas are safe for our residents. You're doing your part by cleaning up your yard. We want to make sure we're doing our part as well, but I definitely want to speak with you and we'll work on that together.
Thank you.
Okay, you bet. Anyone else?
Yes, right here.
Yes, sir.
I'm Russ Hughley from Sonora Sunrise. We've had fires in Bel Air Greens, 2 of them in the house. And we've talked to the city about it, and they're under evaluating to see what they can do about it. Do you have any late information on the structures, whether they should be removed or not? Because they were fired, and it continues to be a fire hazard.
You know what, again, I don't have that information right offhand, but if you wouldn't mind if we can sidebar after the meeting, I can get some information and get back to you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
We need to move on.
Okay, I've taken up enough of your time here. Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
I don't see Mike here. Are you filling in, Frank?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good. Frank Browning, I've been with the police department for 24 years now. I see some familiar faces. I used to be the representative for 1PS. Long time ago when there was like 20 neighborhoods, and now you guys own the whole city. So I'm here for Villegas. He's on vacation. It's his birthday actually in 2 days, so he took his birthday 2 weeks off. And he asked if I could fill in, so of course I will. I know in past, at least when I used to do this, we used to go over stats, but things have changed. We used to go over our federal stats, 9 Part 1 crimes, but they went to NIBRD, which kind of makes it all weirded. So one crime could be a multitude of 5, even though it's the same person who did one crime. But we don't have those right now. That's a new thing this year, but I will touch on. I did pull just anecdotally this stats, property crimes from last month compared to this month. I wanted to at least keep some kind of continuity. Last month, property crimes to this month, we had a reduction in 5%. So that's good. That's for the entire city. And then I'm in charge of our north area of the city of Palm Springs. Some of you may see me from meetings we went to, so anything north of Vallejo. I pulled my stats, and we were burglaries alone was about 31% reduction. So it's doing good up there. A lot of it has to do with Operation Relentless Sun. If you guys haven't heard about it, I'm sure everybody here's kind of been relentless about it. It's good. With the designated homeless outreach and enforcement of any laws we could find on certain individuals are habitually the problem children in our city. Just alone since February, we started this in February, we reunited 24 people with their family, getting them to wherever they need to go, to New York, Missouri, anywhere. We got 36 people housed, arrested 266 who just refused to be housed, so we helped them, and offered resources to 450 people. And then our point in time count is about 300, 350, which kind of goes in line with the county, but we're actually going out to different county unique individuals. So we're not duplicating the same people. And Lieutenant Hutchinson is in charge of our impact team, and they're really the ones that deal with the homeless population, do a great job. He wanted me to pass on the RISE initiative. And RISE stands for Resilience, Inclusion, and Supporting for Ending, and then you put homelessness, so it's RISE H.
H is silent.
The H is silent, RISE. I guess that doesn't make sense then. City of Palm Springs will kick off the new weekly collaborative outreach effort to help multitude. What they're going to do with the help of multitude city, county departments, local healthcare providers, and other local services that offer assistance with housing, substance abuse, mental health care, and mental treatment for Palm Springs unhoused residents. The initiative will take place every Wednesday in Palm Springs between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. The two primary focuses of the initiative will be located at the June13 Wash and the Whitewater River Storm Channel along Dana Shore east of Crosley. So Wednesdays they'll be heading that off, trying to get people into mental health institutions, housing, whatever they need, and try to get them there. Again, we come across our habitual, now it's down to about 15 or 20. Just you see them out there, problem people. If they have any reason to go to jail, they're gonna go to jail. They just don't want the services, just want to keep, be an issue for the city. So those have essentially a zero tolerance. But everyone else, we try to get them into housing, we try to give them resources. Even the zero tolerance, if they're ready to change their life and take the resources, then we're ready for them too. Any questions? I know it's short.
Those that are taken to jail and they serve their time and are released, how do they get back to Palm Springs?
Great question. Oftentimes they're back in Palm Springs before we finish our police report, right? So they'll go to the jail and the county just kicks them back out and they put them back on the bus back to the originating arresting city. So Banning doesn't want them in their city as well. So they say, here's the bus ticket, go back. But they get away for a few hours. We get them, hopefully some of the help they need.
So you say you're going out every Wednesday, for how long, how many months?
I don't know the end date to that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know that. He just passed that on to me today. If it's an initiative just starting, so I'm figuring it's gonna go for a bit until maybe they hit the hot months, and then they realize, okay, maybe not so long. Easy. Love following the police department.
Okay, we have 3 quick ones, maybe 4. Danny, you want to come up?
I promise I'll be brief, as Kathy told me to. Is everybody enjoying our lovely, not hot weather?
Yes.
Besides Denise, can anybody tell me how many days over 100 degrees we had in 2020?
2.
In 2020.
2020?
But 151.
Oh my
Right.
gosh.
This year, how many have we had?
2.
16.
5.
16 so far this year. Okay, so we've had it pretty easy, but we know it's coming, right? We know the heat's coming. So as we get into the summer months, pay attention to your body. We know that we just heard from Parks and Rec, we have 2 cooling centers. Who knew that besides me? We do. Also, we have a ton of places that we can go shopping in Palm Springs. They have air conditioning. So as we creep into the summer months, pay attention to the heat, pay attention to your body. Avoid activities in the middle of the day. If you don't need to go check your mail at 2:00 in the afternoon, don't do it. Secondly, June is Pet Preparedness Month. So I've got some literature for pet preparedness. We're Palm Springs, we love our animals, right? So I'm gonna leave this in the back of the room. I will talk about other stuff in July to include some more stuff on Everbridge. I've been working on something with Parks and Rec so they can send out notifications, but we'll talk about that next month. Anytime for you guys.
LP is attending a conference, so she isn't here this evening, but I think Don wanted to say, did you want to say something? It's all right.
All right, LP's at a conference. I just got a message about that. There is a makeup shredding event for the problem that happened a while back. You have there's a flyer for it, okay, and it's this Saturday? Yes.
There's only one left.
Oh, okay, it's here. Check that, it's shredding it for the shredding that didn't happen last time. The other thing is that we didn't bring it this week, but we will be for next month, bringing in the battery boxes so you can recycle your batteries. And then the other thing is we definitely need some people to apply for the Sustainability Commission. And you have to do that real quick, but we need some people to do it. If you want to know about the commission, I'm a commissioner, and ask me after the meeting. Thanks.
Tom Gardner is our treasurer and has been working on the financials for the end of the year because we end our year on June 30. And we need to let you know our financial business.
Relax, I'm not gonna hit you with a whole bunch of numbers tonight, so. Our fiscal year 2022 and 23 ends June 30th, which is about 17 days from now. And of course, our new one starts in July 1st, so we have to get a budget together for next year. We had a very good year this past year, thanks to Bob Bear and his group, who raised a bunch of money for us. And we could finally have events now that COVID's over, or halfway over anyway. So it helped a lot. So we've been working on a budget for the upcoming fiscal year, and we presented it to the executive committee last week, and they approved it. So now we got to bring it to you folks for approval, and we'll do that at the next meeting. In the meantime, I've asked Denise to distribute that, our proposed budget, to all you alts and reps. So please take a look at it when you get it and forward any comments or questions you might have concerning it. So I can address those before we get to next month's meeting. So hopefully next month it'll just be a matter of approving the budget. So if you would do that, it would really help out. And again, thank you for everybody, especially all of you folks who worked on events this past year. It was a remarkable year, and you're to be congratulated on that for sure. So thank you very much.
Bob and Shannon. Bob. You're not gonna. That's Shannon. You're not
One
just Shannon.
question, just real quick. Rise is gonna go indefinitely, one deal a week, and we'll try to get it to you. Thank you.
Okay, so events committee, we call again, please, to people who are creative and interesting and have some time and some drive and want to do something weird, to please join us at the events committee. In answer to what a couple of people have said lately, the next events committee where we will be planning both the home tour and the lip sync contest, the lip sync battle, will be at 6 p.m. in the evening so that people who still have a job can participate, which is really, we need some fresh blood, and the people who are still working, kind of, that's where the blood is, right? So if we're tapping a vein at 6 p.m. at my house with wine, I don't know what I have to do to get, the engagement, but these are the first ideas, and Bob was willing to bend with me. What else? Just volunteers across the board. We need you, and I will just give you each a challenge in your own neighborhoods, like the next 6 months. We need committee members. I don't even have a neighborhood rep in my neighborhood, right? I've been the alternate for 8 years, right? And right, I travel. I'm here as much as I'm here, and you guys have gotten your blood out of me too. So, but for 6 months, I challenge you to talk to the people in your neighborhood and find your friend's kid, right, who is 40 and an internet wizard or a whatever. We do need that element of social media, that mindset, that little bit of youth. We're talking about the lip sync battle, and we're making it at 2:00 so you guys can be awake for the whole thing. Right? And then we were talking about like a little wine reception afterwards, and he's like, oh no, after 2 hours, they just can't stay for that. They won't. And again, I think I did my first home tour with y'all in 2016 or something, and you don't come, right? So if you want that feeling of that neighborhood engagement, try and you're not willing to do it, then just enlist another alternate. Right? Pick somebody. So the next 6 months, every time you see somebody who's creative and interesting, stick a finger in a belt loop and try and drag them in. Again, the meeting for planning both of those events is June 28th at 6:00. The events committee sent out my address on all of that. So I have some really bad wine. It needs to go.
Thank you, Jen. Denise, you're up, and
Okay, first of all, has everybody, so a lot of people left, but has everybody signed this?
Yes.
Okay, everybody got it? No?
Back row.
Back row? Okay, good.
Didn't get it.
You didn't get anybody else back there? Everybody else? Okay, we want to get a good count. I think we have like close to 80 people in here. I mean, this is amazing. So thank you for your support. Also,
Where do we put these?
that's what I'm going to tell you. I'm collecting these. So just give those to me or put them on the end of the table and I'll come by and get them.
Send them to the ends of to the aisles.
Okay, and mine's gonna be quick because everybody else has talked about some of the stuff I was gonna talk about, so it's awesome. So, let's see, this is Thursday, June 15th from 2 to 3:30 p.m. in this room. There's gonna be, it's the Safe Growth group. It's here at Palm Springs Training Center. And basically, let's see, how would you put it? It's crime prevention through economic design, is it what they call it? Environmental design. So I think there's 5 presentations that are going to be made, and the people that are on these little teams are people from the police department. We have a couple of 1PS folks that are involved, and we also have planning staff, a number of planning staff and code enforcement staff. So they're going to be making some presentations. I think that'd be cool to come to. This is in the back, and then this isn't until July, but I'll get this out to you. We're having the 9 Cities Blood Challenge. You've seen that before, right? We've won the last 3 years. Palm Springs has made the most blood donations over the other 8 Valley cities. And we haven't hosted our own blood drive in a while, the city. So we're gonna have it here. Another thing happening here, this is a great location. That's gonna be Wednesday, July 26th, 7:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And we're gonna have appointments 3 appointments every 15 minutes, so we can have 96 people through here. It's open to the community, it's open to our staff, so we're really trying to break some records for them. So that's all I have. Thank you.
That's why she's there, because I invited her. She is
Can
going to
you-
have a few moments. Any reps and alts as soon as, so she makes her announcement. If you have anything that's like on the agenda, I have to do that or I'll get in trouble. Go ahead.
I will be very, very quick. I just wanted to let you know that we have a public hearing scheduled for June 28th. Ours is in the morning though, 8 a.m. So you can go to our public hearing first and then go to that one. It is a public hearing because our board of directors are considering a rate increase plan. And so we are inviting the public to come on over, get all the information you need, ask questions, provide input. All of our customers should have received a mailing. We sent these out to every single customer, and this includes all the information on rates, and it has an FAQ section. So I have some of these with me. If you want one, I'll be in the corner. If you have any questions, I'll be in the corner, okay?
What time and where?
8 a.m., June 28th at our office on June13 Trail, right next to the big water park. Okay, I'll be in the corner if anyone has questions. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any, thanks so much, I'm sorry, I'm racing through this. Do any of you have any issues, any reps or alts topics you want to bring up?
Yes, would it be appropriate, that company that wants to build the hydrogen and fast recharging center, to ask them to make a presentation to us
Good idea.
at 1 p.m.? I'd really like to know more about it.
Yeah, we can look into that, I don't have to use too much.
But who would they contact in order to do that?
Denise, right behind you. Okay?
He's been in contact with me already, so.
Okay. Thank you. It sounds like there's some interest for that. All right, any member of the public that would like to make a comment? You all look pretty, I'm so sorry that we did, but we had a great meeting, I think. We learned a lot. Okay, move to adjourn. Yay. Yes.
I want to just ask, I want to thank Denise for our